Hey, it's Frankie Ballard. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I hope that I answer them in a satisfactory way. And thanks to my brother, Cody Allen, for having me. So let's kick it off. Here we go. Sarah Weathers from Talladega, Alabama. She asks, do you know yet which song will be the follow-up single to Hell of a Life? No, not exactly, because we're going to take Hell of a Life to the top of the mountain first. But I think it maybe should be Sunshine and Whiskey, because we've been in the polar vortex. And I think the whole world could use a little bit of sunshine and whiskey this summer. Next, Tammy from Crossville, Tennessee. Where's your favorite place to go out in Nashville? I have a lot of them, Tammy. There's this one place on 8th Avenue called Melrose Billiards, and it doesn't even have a sign. It just says Billiards, and you kind of have to know what it is, and it's down in this smoky basement. It's probably the smokiest bar I've ever been in, but one of the best. Rebecca from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Your birthday was in December. What did you do to celebrate? I'm not big on my birthday. You know, it's kind of like, it's just another, I kind of like to underplay it. So what did I do? I was on the road, actually, which is the best way I could ever celebrate it. I think I had a show. So that's all I want to do is play a show. Shane from Denton, Texas. What's your favorite sitcom? My favorite sitcom of all time is The Cosby Show, by far. I've seen every episode. The Huxtables. Carmen from Twin Lake, Michigan. Who'd you like to collaborate with on a future album? I think it'd be really cool to do something with Dolly Parton vocally, and maybe Keith Urban come and play some guitar. I think that'd be pretty fun. Layla from Billings, Montana. What's the first album you ever bought? I think I bought some tapes before CDs came out, but I don't remember what they were. I remember what my first ever compact disc shiny CD was. That was George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers' Greatest Hits. And I still have it. It's scratched up and beat up, but that's badass. Danielle from Orlando, Florida asks, what do you enjoy doing on your days off? Well, like music is my whole life, so I'll play drums or practice guitar. Like, I'm always doing something musical. If it's not musical, I'm trying to work out and eat good, stay in shape, but I'm always doing something music-wise. Brianna from Santa Monica, California. I love it down there. What's your musical influence / role model? My biggest of all time is Elvis. Grew up loving Elvis. I just always loved how he was an entertainer and never compromised the entertainment quality of his show. And always just loved him. As a singer, too, is an incredible singer. I'm a big Elvis fan. And guitar-wise, my favorite guitar player of all time is Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. Laura from Nashville, Tennessee. Laura might be out there driving down Music Row. How has country music played a part in your life growing up? Well, my dad is kind of the person who turned me on to all the country music that I learned as a kid. He's a big fan of outlaw country and Johnny Horton, Kenny Rogers, stuff like that, and Waylon and Willie and all that. And I didn't even, know who those guys were until I started learning about them from my dad. So we started playing and singing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, like for the family. We were the entertainment. We would get up and sing Elvis tunes and old country songs. So that was really how country music played a part when I was young. But I didn't really think of it as country music. For me as a kid, which I think a lot of kids do today, it's just music. I didn't really categorize it back then. Now I know that it was country, but I didn't then. Joyce from Williston, North Dakota. What's your favorite food ever? Well, my favorite dish ever is this thing that my mom makes. We come from a big Irish family, and she makes this thing called corned beef and cabbage, and it's this boiled meal that's all made in the same big pot on the stovetop. And there's a corned beef in there, and there's potatoes and carrots and onions and cabbage, and it's all boiled together, and it's incredible. It doesn't sound very good, but it is incredible. Irish food. Comfort food, they call it. Mackenzie from Scottsdale, Arizona asks, what advice do you have for up-and-coming country singers? My best piece of advice is to start a band. I think a lot of people have the dream in their heart to sing country music, and they move to Nashville, and it's really hard to do that because you have to come down and get a job. You can't just come down here and start working as a country singer. So I think and it might not be right for everybody, but that's what I did. I started a band up in Michigan and was working on my chops, building my fan base, and I think that really made a big difference. I think that gives you the confidence to take the next step. It's really hard to just up and move to Nashville. So I would advise people to get a band together. Kendall from Edmond, Oklahoma. What's the best concert you've ever been to? I've been to a lot of good ones. Kendall. I would say Leonard Skinner and Hank Williams Jr. at the Palace in Detroit, Michigan. Huge Skinner fan, huge Hank Jr. fan, and it was kind of a co-headliner thing. They both played a full set, and I had great seats, and it was super loud, and it totally rocked my world. And two completely different sets. You know, Skinner played note for note, played the albums note for note, and it was really, really cool as a big fan because they're such a different band now than they were in the 70s. And then Hank Jr. was like off the cuff and improvising and throwing guitars across the stage. It is just anything could happen. It was wild, and it was loud, and it was awesome. I think that was about 10 years ago. Monica from Picayune, Mississippi. Sorry if I butchered your town, Monica. What's your thoughts on playing at Bayou Country Superfest? That was incredible. That was an incredible show. I've never played in a room that big. I walked in and the seats, and I was like, oh my God, this is huge. It was an honor to get to open that show for, those huge bands, Luke Bryan and Zach Brown. And the fans were really cool. I got to go out on the big rock and roll tee that was out there in front of the stage, and it was beautiful. I love it down there. Baton Rouge. Jay from Concord, New Hampshire. What's your favorite song on your upcoming album? That's a good question. I would say it's Don't Tell Mama I Was Drinking. It's the last track on the album. It's a little golden nugget for those of you who buy it to find at the end. I haven't really been playing it live, so I don't think anybody's really heard it yet. And it's just an incredible story and brings a lot of awareness to drinking and driving as well. So it's a wholesome message, but just a great country song. Don't Tell Mama I Was Drinking. Georgia from Charleston, South Carolina. What is the meaning behind Sunshine and Whiskey? Well, it means two different things. As a song title, it's Every Time You Kiss Me, It Feels Like Sunshine and Whiskey. But as an album title, I felt like it was really wrapping its arms around all these tunes. Just has a good feel for what the themes, there's some drinking themes in there. And if nothing else, I feel like seeing that title on the album would make people pick it up and give it a second look. So, Morgan from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Do you ski or snowboard? That's a fun question. Ski. My balance is not good on the side. I got to be going straight ahead. So same with water ski. I water ski instead of skateboard or wakeboard, and I guess rollerblade instead of skateboard. I don't know. I don't rollerblade. Chelsea from Appleton, Wisconsin. Which song on the new album are you most excited for the fans to hear? Chelsea, I'd say it's Don't You Wanna Fall, which is a love song. I'm not known for doing love songs, I don't think, especially live. Our show's really high energy, and I don't think people expect like a really emotional love thing on the album, but Don't You Wanna Fall is that. So I'm excited to see what people think of that. I think it's a great tune. So yeah, comment, let me know what you think. Don't You Wanna Fall. Jenna from Tampa, Florida asks, what is your favorite thing about country music? I would say the connection that it makes with people. You know, rock and roll music is more about the vibe and the energy of it. For instance, Led Zeppelin. You know, I don't know what Led Zeppelin was singing about. Vikings or something. I don't know. It's like just rock and roll music, and it sounded good and it was high energy. But country music is all about that connection. The stories and the things you hear in the lyric that make you go, oh, I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced that, and that really connection and that thing saying, oh, that's my song, that's you know, I've been there, he or she, they understand what my life is like, you know, through this song. So that's my favorite thing about it. Sarah from Jackson, Mississippi, what is your favorite thing about being on the road? I think it's, you know, at my age, it's rare for people to get to see so many new cities and states in the U.S. And I've been to every state in the lower 48 because of music and because of traveling and touring. And that's really cool. And I've tried hard to take advantage of those opportunities and wake up and go at least walk around and visit the city, try to take something from the, I don't mean steal, but take something from the city that we're in. That's just, it's a rare opportunity. Most people don't get to do that in their job. So traveling and seeing new places is my favorite thing about the road. Adam from Shelby Township, Michigan. What was your reaction when you first heard your song on the radio? It was in Michigan, actually, and I was really overwhelmed by, first of all, by the way it sounded, because most radio stations put music through a processor of some sort to make things a little bit more brilliant sounding, and I was amazed at how good it sounded, and then kind of overwhelmed thinking about people in other, I was in my car, thinking about people in other cars and wondering if, are you listening to my song? And it was just so cool to think, if I'm hearing it, then a lot of other people are hearing it too. That was pretty cool. Maria from Overland Park, Kansas. What came first, the chicken or the egg? You'll have to ask Jesus, I don't know. Debbie from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I know you'd mentioned that you would like spend more time learning to play piano. How's that going? Debbie, it's not going very good. I don't have a lot of time. I got to get to it. Thank you for reminding me. Isabel from Lexa, Arkansas. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I used to do that. I used to really try to set long-term goals for myself and make projections and predictions, but I'm trying hard not to do that anymore, because I think when you do that, that's all you think about, and your day-to-day life sort of flies by you, and you don't get to appreciate the things that happen just day to day. So I'm trying to not set long-term goals. So I don't know. I have no idea where I'll be in 10 years. I hope it's alive. Amanda from Mesa, Arizona. What's the most creative gift you've ever received from a fan? Panties. I don't know if that's creative, but it was pretty cool. Mara from Roanoke, Alabama. If you could change anything in your life, what would it be and why? Mara, I wouldn't change one thing about my life, because it made me who I am. It's the reason I'm sitting here, and it's my journey, and I've made mistakes just like I'm sure everybody has, but the bad times make the good times better, and those mistakes have made me stronger and hopefully made me a better person, so I wouldn't change a thing. And that's all I got time for. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you, Cody. I love you, brother, and I hope that I made some sense and shined a light on some of these things you were wondering.